Testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David, on air and live streaming at this time each night, picking up boats and giving weather if needed in the southwest Pacific. It is a beautiful night here. It is the first day of the long weekend, Labour weekend, and it has been a good day, not all that tropical. 18 degrees it is at the moment though, which is fine because it's only about 7 knots from the north-northeast. It's sort of been dribbling north-northeast, east, southeast all day, but quite pleasant. 1029, that big high above us, 1029.3 in fact. Low humidity, 64%, so that's pretty decent. 10% cloud cover. Very different up there in the ocean. We're going to go to Ankala first of all. We've been following you pretty much all day, and certainly different conditions to what we've got here. Liesl, are you on frequency? Oh, it's pretty light copy tonight, Liesl, but hopefully we can catch you all right. We've been thinking about how you're going, and it looks like very good strategy. Go ahead, over. Yeah, the only thing I missed is your current course. I think it's fairly northerly. Current course again, over. Okay, I'll just give that to everybody. It's of great interest how well they're handling this situation. 2342 south, 15733 east. Ankala heading to, well, actually I wouldn't say heading to southward at the moment, but heading themselves away from the worst of the weather, which is 30 to 40 knots of easterly. They are 2.5 knots on a course roughly of 325 with a 4-meter swell. You are going, well, it's pretty good. I would say, Liesl, you and Andy are doing a great job. I'm just going to put the microphone to David. How are things on board? Over.
What's the direction of the wind?
Yeah, you certainly will be looking forward to the wind dropping. Could you just confirm you still have it easterly, or is it slightly north of east? Or what is the wind direction, true wind direction? Over.
Yep.
Okay, got that northeasterly wind. Well, here is David.
Okay, so they basically stopped.
Yes.
Okay, Liesl, I think that strategy is going to work out. The low pressure, well, first off, can you copy me all right? Over. Okay, I guess you said yes.
Yes.
It's, you're very, very light and quite a bit of static on there. Okay, I would estimate that things are going to ease up by tomorrow, and I'd make a stab at probably around 4 to 5 in the morning as the frontal band itself starts to, or continues to move, I should say. So as long as you don't head for Southport right now, this should move out of your way by around breakfast time. The winds, there's a little bit of a disagreement on what the model says, but around breakfast time, you're either going to continue with the northeast wind, probably in the neighborhood of 25 to 28 knots, or you could wind up having northwest. The models are a bit in disagreement on that. We're getting quite a bit of convergence right where you are. So in other words, we have wind from the northeast, and then we also have wind from the northwest, and they're coming together pretty much where you are, just a little bit to the east of where you are. So your conditions will continue right through early tomorrow morning. Then it will start to get better, and we'll look, say, basically at we'll say about lunchtime tomorrow. By about lunchtime tomorrow, you will be out of the frontal band. That will have moved to your southeast. It will move in that direction, and the winds should drop dramatically from noon onwards, maybe 12, 15 knots like that, 1.2 to 1.5 knots. Now, like I say, there is a bit of a discrepancy on that direction, but anyhow, you should be able, after that, to very, very slowly change course to Southport, but go slow. You don't want to catch up to this system. It's not moving very fast. So if you do that, you should be in pretty good shape. Trying to look at the time here. Yeah, probably by Monday morning, early Monday morning, about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, like that, you should be out of it altogether, and the winds will probably be pretty much out of the north, give or take on that, because the models are not in disagreement, but they're all heading to the center of that depression. The depression itself is pulling these winds in. But anyway, the worst of it will certainly be over by that time. And again, that's very, very early in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning on Monday. So really, tonight and through most of tomorrow, it still isn't going to be that pleasant, but then it will get better very quickly. Over. I can't understand a word.
Yeah, I struggled through all of that over. Liesl, just stand by one. Is anybody copying? I'm looking at whether eye candy is on frequency, but maybe not. Is anybody copying Liesl at the moment? Better than I am, which is not very good. So I'll just stand by to see if there's somebody copying Liesl. Oh, thank you very much. Moana Roa has got good copy. Richard, did you catch what she just said?
Yeah, she's not sure whether they will hit for Bundaberg or for Southport, so they'll just play it by ear at this stage, isn't it?
Oh, roger that. Just have got the option of going to Bundaberg or Southport, but if they just be a little patient, they'll be able to do the Southport thing, because that certainly on Monday they will be feeling an awful lot more cheery than they are at the moment. So just back to David a minute.
Well, if you have a choice, Liesl, of Bundaberg or down to Southport, if it were us, we would take Bundaberg. You'd have a pretty good point of sail. The wind will be essentially out of the north, and this thing is moving fairly slow, and there is some residual cloud convective activity down in the Southport area. It shouldn't bother you too much, but certainly not at all like what you've experienced and what you are experiencing. So if you have an honest chance just to go west, essentially, If it were us, I think that's what we would do. Over.
Yeah, I copied all of that, Liesl. It's, I guess it just depends on what part of the sea the boat is angling at the moment when you talk. But yes, chin up, you two. You have had some pretty shitty conditions, but you're doing very well to hold yourself away from the worst of it. So congratulations on that one. You probably don't feel great at the moment, but boy, as David said, another 24 hours and things will be a lot better when we talk to you tomorrow evening. Okay, we'll clear with Ankara. Just stand by, Richard. We'll take the boats that are heading to Australia.
Stop.
Stop, says David.
Okay.
He wanted to move his computer, and the RF in the room upsets that somewhat. Okay, let's go for Somerset, then Icy Red, and then I'll get back to Moanaroa. Somerset, Paul, go ahead. Yeah, pretty good copy, Paul. Go ahead. Oh, that's a change. So Somerset on their way to Bundaberg as well. 2020 south, 15635 east. 5 knots on a course of 217 with 13 to 15 from the north-northeast. So that sounds actually pretty pleasant for you guys on board. Over.
Yeah, roger that. We have 80% cloud cover and we have 363 nautical miles to do. Over.
Oh, almost smelling the barn, not quite. Well, the not so good news, though, is that by tomorrow, about lunchtime, maybe sooner, there will be a wind shift, and the wind is probably going to come pretty much out of the west, not what you really want. Fairly light, though, and the reason for that is that the air is getting into the circulation of the depression that we've been talking about, that Ankala is involved with, and other boats too, I'm sure, are around them. So that depression is winding up, it is wound up, and it's pulling air in from everywhere. So that westerly is part of the overall clockwise circulation of the depression. So I'm afraid that's what you're going to have tomorrow about lunchtime, maybe sooner. Over.
Roger that. I guess we'll have to load our best
Okay. All right, so yeah, we don't want to do too much motoring at the moment with the way that the diesel prices are going. You'll have a bit of a fright when you get to Australia that maybe they're not as bad as New Zealand. Okay, well, we'll clear with Somerset and go to Ian and Sue on Icy Red, Gulf Harbour Radio. Yep, got you good, Ian, go ahead.
Roger. Icy Red is at 15 degrees 48 south, 169 31 east. We're coming on a course on 9.3 at 6.2 knots. We have east-southeast wind at 20 knots and 2-metre swell from the east-southeast. We have 100% cloud cover and the bar is 1024 and we're all well on board. Over.
Well, there's quite a lot of noise on the frequency tonight, but I got all of that. 1548 south, 16931 east. Icy Red steering 195 true towards Port Vila. 6.2. You're going pretty well, aren't you? 20 knots of easterly, mind you, so it can't get much better than that. 2 metre east-southeast swell, 100% cloud cover, 1024.
What's
And
the longitude again?
all well on board. David wants the longitude again, 16931. They're arriving Port Vila tomorrow by the look of it. Okay, back to you. Is there anything else there, Ian?
Thank you. I'll do 31.
Okay, yeah, good going to you guys. By June, you've had a good run with the wind slightly north of east, so but now that you're going in that direction, that's a pretty good wind. Boy, it's wonderful that it hasn't gone to the southeast. Okay, well, let's go back to Moana Roa, Gulf Harbour. Yeah, it's pretty good copy. Richard, go ahead.
Position 2, 9 degrees 45 south, 166 east, course is 1602, and 5 knots over.
Okay, Moana Roa, 2945 16602, coming down from Newcastle 160 true at 5 knots. And the conditions?
Not too bad. We have 12 swells, 1.5 in the southwest, 1 metre roughly in the southeast. Not bad. 20% cloud cover, and the barometer wind 019. Over.
Yeah, could you just give me that wind again, over?
So wind is east, southeast 10 to 15. Over.
Okay, east-southeast 10 to 15. So 1 metre southeast swell and 20% cloud cover, 1019. Okay, so it sounds like all well on board with those conditions. Not too bad at all, over?
Yeah, all well on board. Over.
Okay, what's the wind going to, is it going to,
Could you give me the
yeah, hang on a minute.
latitude and longitude again?
It's 2945 for Moana Roa and 16602.
Okay. Looking at tomorrow, wind's going to be east-northeast, about 20 to 25.
Ooh, David is just saying that, and the good news is that it's backing to east-northeast, but 20 to 25. That will put some speed on and probably cause a bit of reefing, over. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good. So good luck and have a good night, you and them. Okay, let's move to the ones coming down from Fiji now. Gracias, Gulf Harbour. Yeah, pretty good copy. It's just that there's a lot of noise on the frequency. Oh, and by the way, Lady Nada is in the Bay of Islands. So go ahead. Let's see where Gracias is. Go ahead, David. I got a bit confused there. I've got you at 26 south and 17405 east. I think the wind was 15 southeast and your course is 190 true. But what is your speed? And you better correct anything I got messed up, over. Okay, let's read this for David. So he's just putting you at 26 and 174, give or take. 15 knots of southeast wind. They're steering 210 at 6.5 knots. 10% cloud cover and 1016. In a bit of a gaggle of boats there. What have you got for the future? Here's David.
Well, we've got that high tomorrow that's going to be sitting parked, really, anchored, right over New Zealand. And that's going to make the rest of your journey in terms of wind, you'll have plenty of it, let's put it that way. Tomorrow I'm moving you a couple of degrees south, and we're looking at about 20 to 25 knots. Easterly direction, I think, for a bit. It doesn't turn southeast until, well, I don't really see southeast for a bit. I'll take a look at Monday, and Monday it looks like it's going to stay more or less in an easterly direction from what I could see, which is good. So you're looking at, on Monday, about 20 knots, give or take on that. And as you get closer to New Zealand, the winds will start to decrease, get a little bit lower in velocity. So the really bad stuff is to the north of you. So you should be doing pretty good. Over.
Yes, you're in quite a gaggle of boats there, so you've all got some company, and yes, just a little bit of strength tonight and and tomorrow a bit, so we'll see what happens when we talk to you tomorrow. Okay, we'll clear with David and go to Maryland, Gulf Harbour. I don't know why I don't have all that great a copy on you, Jeremy, but we'll see how we go. Go ahead, over. Well, I got that pretty well. 2715 and 17336. Actually, you're being chased tonight by a 16-metre catamaran called Crazy Flavour coming down. It's going to be coming to this area here, actually. It's got a British flag at the moment, but it is going to be in this area, so keep a lookout. Okay, carry on with course and speed and wind. Oh, that's good that it's not too much. A very small southwesterly swell with an easterly wind. I missed the speed, but it must be pretty decent because you're doing 8 knots on a course of 190 true. Yeah, I'm pleased that that's come back a bit. What was the wind strength, over? No, I need the wind speed. The wind speed, over. Okay, yep, got that now. So, yeah, just missed that for David to see what it was. I'll just see if he's got anything additional from Gracias. But just to give the full picture, Marilyn is at 2715, 17336. With an easterly wind of 12 knots. They're doing 8 knots on a course of 190 true. A very small southwesterly swell, so that sounds pretty pleasant conditions on board, actually, with the wind in that direction. Any comments from you?
Moving you south a little bit, well, toward New Zealand, let's put it that way. I'm seeing tomorrow at about lunchtime around lunchtime tomorrow, a good 25 knots, pretty much out of the east. Gusts up to 30, I think, as a little band of strong air, a couple of degrees wide meaning latitude-wise, and yeah, you're in it. So looking at a little bit later, if you are, say, 28 south, you come out of that, and the winds then are about 20 to 25, still out of the east. That high is, like I said, pretty much over New Zealand, and it looks like it's not moving much right through late Sunday into Monday. Then it starts drifting east, and when it does that, for the boats that are behind you, that wind will continue to back to follow the isobar, so they'll start to turn more northeast. But where you are, that's not the case. We're still looking at easterlies for a day or so. Over.
Yep.
I need to talk to Gracias.
Okay, go ahead now.
Okay, I think we got that. Very, very poor propagation or something, anyhow. Gracias, if you're still on, I made an error in what your winds are going to be. They're going to be a lot stronger. You are, in fact, going to be moving into what I call a higher wind zone, let's put it that way. And you could be looking at possibly 25 or 30 to 30, and the wind direction is still going to be about the same though. Pretty much easterly, give or take, maybe a little bit south of east, maybe a little bit, well, it wouldn't be north of east at all, no. So east to a little bit south of east, just a tiny bit. But you are definitely going to have more wind than what I just told you a few minutes ago. Over.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Yep, I'm somewhere waiting for these anyway, so,
Yeah, I hope it doesn't get worse than that tonight. Okay, tidied that one up. We'll go to Genesis, I think, next, because you're in that little gaggle of boats, and then we'll go to Scoots. Genesis, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, Genesis, how copy?
Oh, much better copy, actually. So that's good. Go ahead.
Okay, Genesis is 25 degrees, 51 south, and 172 degrees, 20 east, on a course of 191 true, and a speed of 6.4 knots.
Okay, we had Genesis dropped behind a little bit. 2551 17220 191 true, 6.4. Carry on.
Okay, we have 21 knots of wind from the southeast, and 2 meter seas, and a long period swell of maybe 1.5 meter from the south. And the cloud cover is about 30%. So it's pretty nice, really beautiful day here. But we're going to go a little slower. We had a squall that made a big garbage bag look through our mainsail. So it's probably taking at least a knot or two off of our main speed.
Oh, that's not too good. I hope the main was about due for something to happen to it, was it?
Yeah, roger that. It was to be replaced when we got to New Zealand, but it was supposed to last that long. Over.
Well, that's pretty fine tuning, isn't it? Okay, so at 2551 and 172 east, the winds are southeast 21, 2 metre swell from the south, I think 1.5, 2, and 30% cloud cover. But it sounds very nice sailing today. So if you got any comments, I'll just pass the mic.
Well, more wind, I think, tomorrow.